Only 54% of Republicans. And yeah, a lot of people are saying it's about an even mix of right and wrong priorities. But considering the fact that Trump's support is defined mostly by like idolatry, right? Like people who support Trump don't just like, critically support him. They're fanatics for him. That's pretty bad. A lot don't know though. Yeah, I mean, Americans are stupid. Like they're idiots, they're dumb, they have small brains. We know this. But keep in mind, this is still the honeymoon period. I know it feels like we've been here in the torment nexus for years. It's been 3 months. It's been 100 days. And this is the most unpopular presidency at this point ever, beating even his first administration. I mean, I don't know. I stand by what I said early on, which is that the wave of harm is going to be most pronounced in the beginning. And that's because even if you're an authoritarian, which Trump is and his administration is, you always have to work with the public mandate. Because the more people don't approve of you, don't support you, the more traitors you get, the more people in your administration who start publicly backtalking you, the more people start to run against you, the more people protest against you, the more breakdowns there are in your administration as people at every level of governance start to individually go, wait, hold on, I don't agree with this. You need a constant state of hysteria. And the reason why they're acting fast now is because, they know popularity is going to go down. And boy, is it going down. Why Americans so dumb? America has the most money circling around it of any country on earth, which means the bourgeoisie have the most control here, which means that they have an ungodly presence in media. America's wealth doesn't mean that every American is getting, fancy cars and fancy houses. A lot of them are. What it largely means is that an unprecedented number of billions are being funneled into media to make, to manufacture consent. It looks like dissent is already coming about. Besant does not back up Trump on China tariff discussions. Besant has very obviously not been like down with what the Trump administration's been doing for a while. Like his job has essentially been to go on news, to talk to Fox News or whatever, and defend indefensible policies. Besant's not an idiot, right? And he's also not as shameless of a liar as a lot of the other people working with Trump. So he goes on to Fox Business or whatever and grinning through his teeth, he's like, yeah, no. These tariffs will bring back American manufacturing. Yeah, for sure. And then he goes back to the, to the Oval Office and he's like, Trump, please stop. Scott Bessent on Sunday did not back Trump's assertion that tariff talks with China were underway and said he did not know if the U.S. president had talked to Xi Jinping. Interesting. Democrats seem even unhappier with the reality of the second Trump term than they were before he was sworn in on January 20th. That makes sense. Rasan Henderson, a Democrat from California, said, quote, "It has been one of the longest 100 days I've ever had to sit through." Yeah. 46% of Americans approve of his handling of immigration. God, we're a sickening country. I don't know. It seems like the honeymoon period never really happened, but to whatever extent it did happen, it seems like it might be over. You notice that you've been hearing a lot less like ooh-rah hysteria from the right lately? Over the past, for the first 2 months, it was nonstop. Every day you wake up, you open your eyes, you breathe, they're screaming. We're doing this, we've done that, bigly. It seems like over the past month or so, and I'm not saying it doesn't still happen, but it has tapered down somewhat. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot less about the mandates, a lot less about the public mandate. We'll see. Keep in mind that the dwindling popularity of an authoritarian isn't necessarily a good thing. Look at what's happening in India, right? Modi is an authoritarian with dwindling popularity. What is he doing now? Trying to start a war with Pakistan. War with Iran. Yeah, don't jinx it. Didn't Netanyahu literally, like, in the past 24 hours say that he was committed to striking nuclear facilities in Iran? That might be our pit From what I'm hearing at my job, a lot of the West Coast ports are ghost towns right now. Store shelves are going to be completely empty within a month if things don't change fast. Can you guys bring up the boat tracker again? The big map that shows all the shipping boats, please? Thank you very much. If you think Trump's unpopular now, just you wait. And it started. Why do I have this person blocked? Look at the sheer number of ships that are bound for California that are stuck in ports in China. These are goods that would normally get to the US within 14 to 21 days. The shortages are inevitable at this point. Wow, no kidding. Just like eyeballing that.
New today, consumer sentiment plummeting to one of the lowest levels on record amid a fierce trade war. Retailers are warning of empty shelves reminiscent of the pandemic, with the 145% tariff on nearly all Chinese imports in place. Yesterday, President Trump said he's ready to make a deal with President Xi.
Entirely one-sided communication, by the way. Trump raises tariffs on China 18 times. We're ready for a deal. Get ready for a deal. He wants a deal. He just doesn't know how to say it. Xi Jinping, he simply waits. In his mind, not every situation needs a reaction. Learn to sit back and observe. He's playing the long game.
Have you spoken?
Oh, sorry. Wait, hold on. I also wanted to show this image. Not a single international cargo ship at the port of Seattle. The port is dead. The last ship from China will dock at a West Coast port on the 29th, and the last Chinese ship will dock on the East Coast around May 10th. After that, there will be no more shipments arrive from China. We're screwed. Goodbye, the anthology. I really, really enjoyed your clothing while I had it. By the way, I can personally attest to this. On the big walk that I did around Seattle the other day, yesterday, a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Normally, when walking from a vantage point where I can see the bay, you know, I can see a good number of ships making the runabout Harbor Island. It did feel a bit quieter yesterday. Not that I can really judge that from where I was looking, but it did feel that way. Now, really, can you take a pic of the bay and the docks? I can take a pic of my gay and the gawks. Wait.
To him since the tariffs. When did you last?
I don't want to comment on that, but I've spoken to him many times.
When did that happen and what did you discuss?
I'll let you know at the appropriate time. Let's see if we can make a deal.
Meantime, major ports like the Port of Los Angeles are seeing a steep drop in imports from China. And joining me now, we have Lorianne LaRocco, global supply chain reporter for CNBC Business News. That Lori is also the author of the book Trade War, Containers Don't Lie, Navigating the Bluster. Lori, big
I'm going to try to use this marine tracker thing. I want to see if I can filter it so that the only type of ship that we're seeing are cargo ships. And then I'm going to try to see outbound from China.
Welcome to you. So when it comes to the prospect of empty store shelves, which products could be hit hardest, and should consumers be worried? I mean, are you seeing a rush to buy certain things right now?
We really shouldn't see a rush because we actually have the items in. It's going to hit us in waves, Alex. And this is what we're going to kind of see with the timeline. Starting in June, this is where you're going to start seeing, those items that we love to get really cheap online. Those are the items that are going to get hit first. And those are like the fast fashion.
I don't know how to do it.
Products we might get on Amazon. And the reason why is that smaller businesses, they can't afford to have front loaded, right, all of these items in to beef up their inventory. Then starting in July, this is critical because this is the back to school time, right, where parents are going into the stores to get their kids their school clothes. So you're looking at backpacks, you're looking at notebooks, you're going to be looking at all of these items that some have been brought in.
Is this good for the climate, though?
There has been a major pause when you're looking at the amount of items that have been brought in, and people are just really uncertain, if you will. Is it going to consumer going to buy? We have seen the pullback on a multitude of different economic indicators in terms of that hesitancy. And without really any definitive acknowledgement of what's going on, we're going to see this pullback. And then in addition to the fast fashion and the school clothes, also electronics, because of the connectivity, right, of the inventory of the supply chain.
Yeah. I'm going to get to that in 1 second, but let me ask, because you're saying basically we have until June, that the supply is there as of now. Does that apply to the car industry? Because we reported people are rushing out to buy cars or renew leases.
Yeah, there are some filters that you have to like buy a marine